Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, so as all of you probably know, I went live this morning, and in that live, this is kind of that list that I mentioned at the very end. This is the list of names that I'm still going to pull a card pull and do a fictional storytelling for. Thank you to each and every one of you for your incredible generosity and kindness. I appreciate you guys so much. Anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about is just I went live today on Kate's Regretless Life to do some fictional storytellings for my subscribers to say thank you guys so much. I will be going live again later on today. This is the 17th, by the way. And this is the morning still of the 17th, but this evening on the 17th of October, I will be going live on my other channel, Tarot Dog. If you are a subscriber over there, you get another chance to get a card pull possibly. So join me over there later on tonight. Keep your notification bells turned on so you'll know when that happens. And now let's get to this group. I will timestamp everyone's name. You'll find the timestamps and your name in the description box, but this is just for that list that we already know who is a part of that list because of that previous hour that I was live with you guys. So, all right, if you missed out on this time around, don't worry. I do this from time to time on my channel. This is how I thank my subscribers here and there, okay? So now, let's get started. So, beginning with JR, and this is just a one card pull to say thank you and to say happy full moon. So, JR, let's see, what is the message? We just got the Strength card in the reverse. Hang on, I do need one more card on that. That's strong Leo energy, but we have a subconscious, kind of like in these fictional stories, what I'm looking at is what's coming to the surface from the subconscious. And we have got this energy of, it's almost like someone is realizing that they're a little bit apprehensive about what might they hear, what message might they get, what kind of an offer might they receive. It kind of hints that either that or they're sensing that someone else is nervous about giving an offer. That same message came up in the other segment. I can't remember now who it was for, but that same message came up. There's like because the full moon is about, showing and shining light on things, particularly things from the subconscious and things that could be released. It's even here, like the little guidance and the support, and we're kind of wrapped in the wings of our owl behind me. And it's like the guides are trying to give supportive messages about like, hey, encouragement, what to let go of. But first we got to know what we're worried about. Well, let's not stress out too much. I don't know if somebody's worried that the offer they have is too small, won't be well received, but that's the thing to maybe consider letting go of. If somebody thinks that my talents are too small, I probably shouldn't go for that job, or I shouldn't reach out to that person. They probably won't think I'm much of anything. This feels kind of tentative, and all of that says, no, every person has value. Every person has worth. Our skill sets that we possess could be, sometimes you don't even know. Like if you're worried to put in an application at a job because you're like, oh, I probably, sure they could get much better people than me. I probably don't have all the education that they need. And then it turns out, oh my God, I'm more qualified than the person who runs the company. I have more background in this. Sometimes it can be a shocker when we were so nervous only to find out that I can do this with my hands tied behind my back. So it just says, being worried about stuff doesn't behoove us. It says still make the offer, still, feel, even if there's nervousness, everybody's nervous about offering something at some point in their lives, but still do it anyway because it's the best of us. So, and I have a feeling there's going to be a much better outcome. Anyway, kind of a beautiful little message on that of support. Next up, Melissa coming in at 342. Here we go. Melissa, let me pull a card and see what is the message for this full moon. What is this fictional story? We got a Queen of Cups and we got the Fool. Oh, this is nice. This is about taking the leap of faith for our emotional happiness. Whatever it is that this character may want, it's like, imagine if everything that we did in our life, we would stop and say, okay, when I'm 103 years old, what do I want my autobiography to be full of? What pictures do I want to include in my autobiography? That's going to guide me toward the things that I really want to do. So maybe I'll dress extra nice so I look great in all my photos. Maybe I'll go ahead and attend some event just so that I can say I was there. Maybe I'll say yes to the times people, invite me to things that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but my friend invited me. So you know what? It'll be a funny little paragraph to write into my life story. But this says to kind of say yes to the things that could bring about emotional happiness, but also has a certain amount of like adventure to it. So to do the things that maybe our heart wants to try, just because, you know what, at the end of the day, come hell or high water, no matter how it turns out, I'll still look damn good in those pictures, and I'll be able to say, oh, I did that one time. Yeah, I did that. And I'll be happy about that no matter what happens. It's not risky behavior. It's just kind of like having the courage to do something a little out of the norm and just see how it goes. I think that's kind of fun. It feels adventurous. Next up, coming in at 5:15, I have got LaLA St. Oliver. Thank you so much, LaLA. You are always such an angel. Thank you. All right, we've got an 8 of Wands for our little fictional storytelling for this full moon. So the thing that is kind of coming to light, somebody wants to talk. Somebody wants to jaw. They want to chitter chatter about a plan. I almost feel like I'm getting this vibe that, you know, sometimes when we know a person is trying to move through a crowded room and we know they're making a beeline for us. We know they're coming for us. We know they got something they just can't wait to say. I feel like that's the spidey sense that our character has. Like, I know they want to talk. And on that note, I know it's only a matter of time before they do, because kind of like a little shark, I see them swimming toward me. Even if it's only like in the back of my head, I can feel them looking my way, or I can sense somebody is looking me up, or my third eye can predict probably in about 8 hours or 8 days, I'm probably going to have something that pops up in my life, some kind of offer, opportunity, some kind of conversation, some kind of text or email. I sometimes look at that, because it's on fire, as like really fast. So like electronic kinds of messages, it's like check the spam folder, because something is coming in, some kind of communication. This is positive. This is direct and it's intentional. It doesn't look mean. It looks heartfelt, or something that our character might like. But it says, check the spam folders, keep track of information coming toward us, and even be mindful of the kind of information that is kind of like raining into our lives, because sometimes we'll find moments of inspiration that come from unlikely sources. So whatever our character is subconsciously picking up on, it's that there's stuff coming in at me, words, messages that maybe will add value to my life. So be aware, be alert for those things, is what it says. All right, next up, coming in at 7:13, I've got Anne Marie. And thank you so much, sweetheart. Really appreciate you. All right, so what is the message here for this full moon? We got the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Cups. Oh, wow. So we have a pretty big, rapid incoming. I feel like our character knows that there's a change in the wind, even though it could seem unexpected as to what it is, but expected that it's coming. This feels like an impulsive character, possibly Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, that wants to do something really fun, and our character could get a sudden invite to something, or they could have somebody that shows up unexpectedly for a visit, but it's because it's like, this is my wish. My wish is to toast with you. What my wish is you are my wish. I feel like our character is somebody's wish, and I feel like they kind of, maybe they have a tendency to blurt stuff out, or maybe they have a tendency to just take swift action. But if that is what's in the subconscious, is like, I feel like something is coming, almost like when somebody goes, oh, my bones are aching, I think that there's a storm on the way. It's kind of like that, only they're sensing, I have a feeling something nice is on its way. I feel a little warm glow. Now, this doesn't have to be a lover. This could be, a friend who's suddenly coming to visit. This could be, it is something positive, though. It's some piece of good news that somebody wants to share, or it's them showing up because they're like, you are my good news. I like you. It's a very sweet energy on that. Goddess of Love. Let me grab one for you, honey. 850. All right, Goddess of Love, thank you so much for your beautiful donation, and welcome. I believe Sarah Clark gifted you a membership as well, so welcome. Don't forget that on Mondays is the Members Corner, where I put out videos. You guys get to vote for what videos you want, and it's members only segments on that, and I pick a winner each week also, so just FYI. So the message for this full moon is Two of Pentacles. I feel like a character is becoming aware that they've been holding on to memories, both good and bad, and both have been impacting them. This could be the time to like weigh it out and say, you know what, maybe I can let go of some either hurt feelings surrounding something because, hey, it wasn't all bad. Or to say, I've been carrying around a lot of ideas in my head, trying to make peace with them, when in fact, maybe these things I don't make peace with, they simply are, and now I give more time to my present and my future. I do feel a little bit like we can't change what already happened. We can only change how we react to it and then how we move beyond it. And I think that's kind of the subconscious message. That is not to minimize whatever a character might have gone through, but if they feel like they're on a balancing ball, or they were in the past and they remember that place of discomfort, it kind of says, but thankfully that was all in the past. That's not where our character is anymore. And it doesn't have to be like that. And they don't have to be the ones to make peace. And they certainly don't have to walk on eggshells for other people. I don't know. It feels like a really gentle sense of our character doesn't have to carry the burdens of the past. They get to live from this point onward, knowing I don't have to still try to make peace with other things or figure out how to rewrite history. That's maybe not the thing that is up to me to do. I just have to be in my present. I don't know. I think that's a huge sense of relief for our character, a huge sense of relief there. Next up, I've got Attallah. Attallah coming in at 11:02. All right, Attallah, thank you so much, honey. Really appreciate you and all your good vibes. All right, what is the message for this full moon? King of Swords, decisive, possibly powerful divine masculine. We have a King of Swords who knows what they want, but this is kind of the thing that's coming to the surface. I don't know why, but I don't feel like this is our lead character. I feel like this is someone external to them who is, they've had the clarity, because a King of Swords upright is like, I have a clear mind, all of a sudden, a clear vision. It could be our lead character. They could be in their masculine energy, whether they're masculine or feminine. But my impression is that it's somebody else who has finally gotten clarity. They may be about to pen a letter, because we have the pen in the like the quill in the ink, whatever you call it, dispenser. There's a name for it. I just blanked out. But it feels like somebody knows what words they want to say. It could be very succinct. It might not be super floral. Actually, there's script all across the sky, but it is all the words that are in their head are going to possibly be filtered down into maybe only 2 sentences, even though there's script written in the entire sky here. But they'll still get to the meat of what they need to say. The only thing is, with the King of Swords energy, it may come out really blunt and even lacking emotion, but it wouldn't be. It would be the distilled down, all of what they feel could be distilled down into, well, let's just say, I want you. Okay, that is one tiny sentence, right? 3 words. And that might have been like, I want to, wake up on Sunday mornings and have pancakes with you. I want to, go to doctor's appointments with you when we're old and gray. I want to get a dog and train it not to pee on the carpet with you. And I want all these things. But if I boil it down, I want you. Those are the 3 words that I need to say. And so a King of Swords sometimes distills it down only to the most blunt things. And that could be good or bad, but it's definitely heartfelt, and it's definitely what they're trying to say. But it might be then, okay, expound upon that. Tell me why. Now I can ask questions, but it starts with just a brief sentence is what it feels like. But someone's gotten that clarity. That's what it says to me. All right, next up, coming in at 13:30, I've got Sheree. Sheree, thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. All right, we have got the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse and the 8 of Wands in the reverse. Sheree, I have to get one more card here, only because we have letting go, not trying to make balance. We also have a lack of, okay. So it's lack of moving forward to try to juggle anything. It's basically like, I'm nobody's circus performer. I'm done trying to, see the other side of it and be really generous and put in more effort. This could be as simple as our lead character has had it illuminated to them that, if it feels like it's nothing but a bunch of fine tuning, like let's say this is about a relationship, let's say it's a friendship, and it's like, well, seems like I do all the heavy lifting. I have to call my friend all the time to ask them if they want to go out for lunch. And then sometimes they're in a bad mood. They tend to take things wrong, maybe quite a bit. And I find myself having to, be like, well, they didn't mean to be rude or be on a short fuse. They just kind of are. And well, they didn't mean to, fail to text me back and tell me that they were canceling. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to move on, because there's a lot of other better friends out there that maybe I won't have to constantly be the person who juggles making everything like so that I can see their side of it. Maybe I'd like to have relationships that they see the same way that I see things. Doesn't make this person bad. It just makes it so that I think our character says, I would like to move forward into relationships. I do feel like this is about relationships, more so than about, like job related or, tinkering with a car that, it never quite is reliable. When it runs good, but then there's always another problem. You know what? I'm finally ready to upgrade. The reason I'm bringing up cars is because the chariot can be a car. But it just comes across like I think our character is ready to kind of throw in the towel on stuff that it's a continual need for them to always be seeing the positive side, giving the benefit of the doubt, juggling, tap dancing to still make things work. And I think they're like, nah, I think I'm done doing that. It just feels like life's getting smoother, better, easier. All right, next up, I've got Stevette coming in at 1556. Stevette, let's see. What is the message here for that? Oh, wow. 2 of coins sideways for this full moon. The big illumination here. There's that card already came out, so I got to get a second one. 10 of swords. Okay. It's, what I actually think? I think a character got to the point of saying, I could be just as good with or without this. Maybe that's why my answer is no. There's that awesome song by Lana Del Rey. And gosh, the guy who was originally with the band Fun and then went off and did the Bleachers, and I can't think of his name right now. Great performer, great singer. But I can't even think of the title of the song, but in it, he says, basically, but if you don't know, then the answer is no. Because when you know. I think that's the title of the song. It's a real beautiful, nice refrain, nice song. But I have to say that's what that looks like. If I'm this like, I could go either way, then maybe the answer is, honestly, I'm over it. I didn't realize I was over it. And this could be anything. This could be, do I want to try to salvage my carpet, or do I want to rip out my carpet and get new carpet? And it's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't have a sentimental attachment to this. I could be just as good, letting somebody rip out my old carpet and maybe not even doing carpet now. I could do hardwood. I don't care. You know what? I realize I don't have an emotional attachment. I just know it needs to go. It could be something, inanimate like that. I doubt it, though, only because the 10 of Swords usually has a painful ending, but this person is kind of meh about the idea of a painful ending, meaning it's not really that painful because I could go either way on it. If this is done, it's all right. I'll handle it. I'm not really going to fight to hold on to it. That's what it feels like. And it's not like I'm just beat down and I'm surrendering. It's more like, it's okay. Honestly, if it can't be salvaged anyway, it sucks, but that's life. It has a real lightness to it. And I think that's that's maybe what the big reveal is like, you know what? I'm going to be all right with however this goes. It's okay. All right, next up, coming in at 1830. Ghande Cooper, please forgive me if I said your name wrong. I can't read my own handwriting. I know it's Ghand, but I can't read the next 2 letters I wrote. Please forgive me for that. That's entirely my crazy caveman scrawl. I'm telling you, I should do cave art. I'd be good at that. I love cave art actually, and I think it's quite a talent, but I might suck at that too. I don't know. With this message of kind of that full moon, it's kind of the gentle message, the supportive message, but it's also the message of illumination. This actually says that there's been some significant healing, but our character is also not where they used to be. I almost feel like this is a character recognizing I am not where I used to be. I'm not in the same place. I'm not in the same location. I am far, far, far away from where I used to live, the emotional state I used to be in. And this is a character kind of recognizing that, like, I don't know if they're going to bump into somebody that they used to know, because that song just popped into my head. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. But it almost feels like sometimes we don't realize how far we've come until we see something from the past and we go, oh, yeah, it doesn't hit the same. I didn't realize how far away I am from who I used to be. Man, I'm really glad that I'm far away from who I used to be. This is also the encouragement to keep reaching for the stars, but it is the moment of awareness that I'm very, very, very far from what it actually was, what it used to be, who I used to be. Maybe somebody's even changed their hair color. Maybe they're noticing they don't look the same. Sometimes we stun ourselves. You walk by like a, whatever, I want to say plate glass window. I don't even know if that's right. And we see our own reflection. We don't recognize ourselves and we're like, oh, that person is attractive. Wait, that's me. I feel like it's that moment. It's definitely to see how brightly a character shines. And it's them seeing that in themselves. It's them finally recognizing that. But I feel like it's going to be a lovely surprise. Oh, Natalie D, thank you so much, sweetheart. Just so everybody knows, I'm not actually accepting any more. Natalie, I'm going to honor this one for sure. Thank you so much, sweetheart. But for anybody else who's out there watching with me, just know this is a closed chat. All of the names that I'm pulling for have already been with me in the live, and this is just the carryover that I didn't get to. And so please know the chat is closed. I'm not accepting anybody else at this point. It's only for the names that are already listed because this has already happened. It's just that I'm making good on doing these card pulls for those that I missed. Okay. But Natalie, I'm definitely going to get to you today, sweetheart. Thank you so much. You've always been so generous and such a tremendous supporter. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. All right. Sierra Clark. Thank you, sweetheart, for gifting so many memberships today as well. That was incredible. You're so generous. You and Crystal Suzanne. And oh my gosh, I'm going to have to put out a special thank you because there's so many names right now of just amazing members who've been so generous. But we start out with the Two of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Before I say anything, I'm gonna pull a couple more on that, and I think I need to change decks on this too. Five of Wands. Okay, so we have like a whole chapter of like thinking about what to do after a closure, after a big ending. This looks like there's a kind of a tremendous shift, a big pivot happening. This is done. I'm not going back there. So hang on, which route do I take next? Do I go right or do I go left? We've even got a map here. We've got this butterfly. I think it says and I'm hearing like butterflies fly free. I'm thinking that our character is saying, well, wait a second. Instead of instantly saying, okay, this is done, here's where I'm going. I feel like our character is saying, this is done. Where do I go next? Wait a minute. Who am I turning into next? This experience has changed me. I'm a different person at this point. Where do I go next? Which direction am I heading next? Sarah, I didn't timestamp yours properly. I'm gonna put a hesitant timestamp in there for you. I'm so sorry. This character is thinking about things carefully. Hang on, that's the deck that I want next. They're considering the changes that they want to make instead of feeling like, well, I plow forward. It's like, no, don't plow forward. Figure out consciously where a character wants to go. We got the World card upright. This is that new beginning. Woo, this is a great storyline on this one. And it's almost like she's looking, not almost, she is looking through the wings of like the eagle. Strong Capricorn energy here. She's protected by her power animal, which could be a dog, a wolf, a lion, or something in between. We have kind of almost like I want to say like a werewolf. Her spirit animal could be kind of an interesting mythical creature. It appears to have like jagged wings as well. I feel like it's a non-existent spirit animal. It's got a combination of like a guide as well as like a ferocious protector. But she stands here kind of very backed by her, whatever her spirit guides are, knowing that where I go next, it's me building my life differently this time. We have the sun in the reverse. And this almost looks like she's staring through a portal or an open window, not just leaping through it though, because the question is, will that make me happy? I shall not move forward unless this is what I want to commit to. She's at the precipice of making a significant change. But again, with that mindfulness, look, I just got myself out of one thing that was awful, or that I'm glad it's done because there was a lot of stress that was related to it. I'm not about to sign a new contract without knowing all the fine print. I'm not about to get into a new relationship without knowing exactly what this person is like. We got a 7 of Pentacles, we got the Chariot. Again, this seems like it could be about career path only because of the Pentacles, but it looks a lot, I'm reading it more like romance. Or let's say building trust, possibly with a divine masculine. And she's saying, they won't have access to my heart. Yes, I will begin something new, but I don't know yet if they will make me happy. It will take time before I know. I certainly am not moving in with anyone. I certainly am not changing my entire life. I'm also not altering too much of my life in order to perhaps like date. I'm not giving away any of the things that I like in order to make a relationship work. I'm going to go ahead and maintain who I am, what I have. And if someone's going to compliment my life, that's just it. They have to compliment it. I don't need to spend too much of my time thinking about them, thinking about their wants, their needs. Where is this relationship going? It needs to grow and evolve at a normal, natural pace, not an artificial like intensity. I really think that she has learned that not everybody should have full access to her time, her energy, her heart. Not everybody should have full. I almost feel like people took liberties with this character in the past. And that's where the only reason I'm saying she is because of that, the World card and the 10 of Swords. We actually have a feminine here as well. But I think she's realized just because you want my energy does not mean I give it to you. By the way, we do have Capricorn, Leo, and Cancerian here for our majors. Let me grab one more here because I'm seeing, I kind of want to know what's going to happen because he looks very patient. She is in no rush to let him in or to push this. It's kind of like, I almost feel like he likes this slower pace. Page of Pentacles, but the 5 of Cups. I think he's very sensitive to the fact that he needs to handle her with care. He needs to move slowly on this. So, you know, I said this is kind of like what's being illuminated during this, you know, full moon. And it's funny because I think this is him being illuminated also. Even if she didn't say anything about like, hey, I've been hurt really bad before. I really felt like I wasted a lot of time and I'll never surrender so much of my autonomy again. I'm not coming out the loser in a situation or made to feel like I gave for, you know, a decade or something and then didn't end up with, you know, fair treatment. So it's not even like gun shy. She's not fearful. She's very powerful. This is more of an I am statement. I am going to get the life that I want. But I think he is being illuminated to the fact that she doesn't seem to be too hot to trot to get things going in any one direction with me. She's not, this is like, let's take love out of the equation for just the sake of a different way to explain it. If this is about, say somebody who is a salesperson, she is not about to be a pushy salesperson. It's like, look, it's a great product. If you want it, you'll be the one pursuing this. And then of course I'll, you know, conduct great business with you. You know, I'm a professional, but I'm not rushing around trying to find someone to, you know, give me the money for this or the reverse. She's not rushing around trying to find something to give her money to. Hurry up, somebody show up in my life so I can dump all my resources into you. And I think he's just being very illuminated about that. Like, wow, she's not trying to throw her energy into me because she's a little bit on the side of like, I'm not going to be depleted again. So I'm going to have to actually match her, go slowly. And really, it could be wonderful because neither of us stands to lose. We're going to build slowly and see what comes of this fair and square, one step at a time. But I almost feel like this is a masculine recognizing where she's at. They're being illuminated to it, just as she's being illuminated to that I am statement. I am going to have the life that I want to have because they am sure I'm not getting wrapped up in anything that makes me feel like this feels pretty fresh in this fictional story. It feels like this is a character who is, even if the ending was a long time ago, the awareness of what that really, how that transformed and changed her is the part that's being really illuminated. Yeah, I won't go through certain things again. I have a different set of boundaries now. She definitely feels very self-possessed, very She's definitely not somebody who's got like, you know, little stars glinting in her eyeballs. She's like, I'm a realist. If something is for me, it'll slowly build and grow. If something is for me, it'll all make sense. 5 of Swords. And if not, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm not going into hostility. Anything, if there's an ounce of hostility, let that thing burn. I do not care. I'm not doing that. Got the Judgment card sideways. I don't know. There could be a little bit of extra guarded or a little bit of like, I don't really expect things to work out that great. It does feel like she hasn't fully reconciled with something that was disappointing. That energy is there just a little bit. And that could also be the thing that she's kind of coming to light about within herself. Maybe I am swift to let go at the first sign of conflict because I'm not about to go through something painful. And that could just be the remnant of the past that she's actually still kind of purging. And that could be ultimately why there's a little bit more reluctance. I don't know. I almost feel like this is a person who's intentionally being a little bit more single, a little bit more detached, because it's like, look, the last thing I need is, you know, that kind of tension or that kind of suffocation. I'm pretty good as I am. She's in the World card. If she's going to start something new, she'll do it only if it's adding value to her life, but she knows all too well things that don't go well, and she's not about to have any more of that. So I don't know that. I would just say it's revealing a few things that are not necessarily like big gaping wounds, but things that haven't let go, haven't dissipated from the past. That's what it looks like to me in that story. All right. Anyway, thank you again, Sierra. Next up, Spooky coming in at 3128. Spooky, let's grab you one. Please forgive me, Spooky. I know there was more to your name, but I'm trying to write fast, and so I only jotted down Spooky. So my apologies. 4 of Pentacles and 6 of Wands. So the message here for this full moon is all about holding on, and it's also about giving to the things that are going to be successful. It's about holding on to one's resources. It's just holding back and holding on. But in this case, it's a positive because it's what leads to the greater success. So like, let's say it's about brushing up on old skills. Let's say, you know, sometimes if we reread on something right before we go into like, say a meeting at work, we are refreshed and we have an answer at the forefront of our mind. And the boss is like, damn, you're impressive. Let's give you the promotion. You seem to like know your stuff. It's like, well, I just read about it 3 minutes ago, but yes, I did refresh. It's refreshing skills. It's refreshing maybe our wardrobe, so we walk out looking like $1 million. Whatever this is, it's hold on to the stuff that we've already accumulated in life, because those skills, those talents, those gifts, the essence of what we are, that is something we have, you know, accumulated and acquired. That is our treasure. Our knowledge, our life experiences, that is something to be proud of, and to not let somebody like take that away or make us feel like that's not awesome. That is the essence of who we are and what makes us a success. So I think all of our life experiences, and this could be a character who's going to turn a life experience into something that could be like of greater benefit in their world. Next up, I have Love coming in at 3309. All right, Love, let me grab one. What a great name. Let me grab a card for you. What is the message for this full moon? The Hierophant. Wow. Okay. This is a strong connection to a spiritual self, a strong connection to one's higher self. This can be saying, you know what? I found the thing I really believe in. Yep. I'll sign my name on that dotted line. Yes. This is for me. Now, those 2 vases, vases, or cups. This is not a 2 of Cups card. It's a Hierophant. So it's Taurus. But I have to say, it's the only card I've ever seen that's Hierophant that has 2 cups on it. So can't help but lean toward thinking that this is, I'm sorry, I have this unending scam phone call coming through. This feels like this unending, like knowledge, like flow of knowledge, as I say, unending scammer phone calls coming through. But it's also this unending like flow of like, wow, this is that higher information coming from the cosmos, and maybe touching the hearts. It feels like 2 people are vibing. It feels like there's this sense of awareness that like, maybe I met somebody really special. Maybe they can pour their cup into mine. I can pour my cup into theirs. It feels like I could get down with this. This is something pretty special. It might just be starting, or it might be something where there's just like a shared energy, that's, even if it's unspoken right now, that's undulating. But and it doesn't have to be about romance. It could just be, when we work well with another person, when we know that, like, we look forward to seeing that person. We don't even know their name, but we always ride the city bus with them every Tuesday. And pretty soon it's like, of course, we expect that we're going to plunk down and sit next to each other. And we actually both enjoy that. Sometimes it's the simple things where it's like, I know that that person's thinking of me just like I'm thinking of them, because there's been some kind of unspoken acknowledgement that, you know what, this is good. This clicks. I believe that I can trust this. There's some kind of lovely energy flow that something is working in a character's life. Something good is really flowing, and they don't have to doubt that. Oh, I love that one. Next up, Jenalisa, coming in at 3530. Excuse me. All right, Jenalisa, thank you so much for being here. And by the way, welcome. Seriously, we just got the Hierophant. This keeps happening. Hang on, I got to pull one more card because the person right before you, love, got that card in the upright. Okay, we have 7 of Wands. So this kind of the thing that's being illuminated during this full moon, and of course it's fictional storytelling, but the thing that's being illuminated is a pathway forward. This is a divine number. 7 is a divine number, and the Hierophant is very divine. But this can be about somebody who's changing a belief system. They're saying, you know what? I don't think I want to sign my name on that contract. I think by acknowledging that that's not the thing I want to, this can sometimes be a relationship that is, someone is saying this doesn't work, so we're not going to move forward with this until we get through these problems, until we move through this obstacle. And this is how a character gets beyond struggles, how a character gets beyond the problems, how a character gets over death card. It's time for a nice revamp. It's time for a nice transformation. It's time to kind of like have a fresh new beginning. Let's not pick up where we left off. Let's go ahead and work on the stuff that actually needs to be dealt with, transform those things, and then think about, are we compatible? This could be the example of somebody who is saying, you know what, we weren't getting along. We need to go to counseling, see if things change, then we can consider, are we going to be together again? This card makes me feel like this is like working with a mediator, working with, some third disinterested party who can kind of like help to get two people either on the same page or help them to get over the hurdles, and then it can be reevaluated as to whether or not this is simpatico. And so it's nice because it says, instead of trying to insist that, oh yeah, we have to make this work, it says, no, let's work on what needs to be worked on, change those things, and then address whether or not this can work. I think that's an important but subtle, different way to look at something. All right, next up, Sandy Mara coming in at 3801. Sandy Mara, thank you again, sweetheart. And don't forget, I did get to you also in that other video earlier today, so I hope that you didn't miss that. That one is still visible to you in the members corner, okay? So we have the Hanged Man, Piscean energy. So water energy, and of course this is the energy of the full moon, so it could be a little bit heightened just because, there is like a big pull of emotion. This card is interesting because normally this is about delays, or it's about looking at things from a different perspective. It can also be about like sometimes martyrdom or too much sacrifice. But in this card, being that it's upright, I think this is about addressing how much time has passed, because we do have all of these in front of this mirror. We have the cobwebs. I think something has it needs to be dusted off, is what this is saying. And now might be the time to dust it off. It could be something to do with something that maybe a character thought, I don't want to deal with that, it'll hurt my heart. And now it just might not. It might be the time to maybe dust off our heart, maybe look in the mirror and see how attractive we are and be like, why was I thinking that love is just not a thing for me anymore? I'm vital, I am vivacious, I am sparkling, I am attractive. My heart is absolutely, I'm up for it again. Yes, I could, try love again. It kind of feels like somebody had put their little heart on a shelf and maybe even hadn't looked in the mirror to see how attractive they are or see how much they have to offer in a while. And now it's time to look at themselves as like, well, all right, how dateable am I? And I think it's going to be a big shock that they're going to say, I'm real damn dateable. I'm a fox. I love this. I love everything about this story. I love the turn of mindset. And it's like, I think our character knows it's time to like dust off the mirror and really take a good look in the mirror, because I think this character is absolutely attractive and has so much to offer. And it would be a pity if their beautiful heart wasn't shared with somebody, is what this says. And I mean, whoever they want to share it with. It doesn't have to be about love. It can be about getting a pet, you know, planting a garden. It's anything, but it's like this character has so much to offer, so much to offer. And I think that it's just been a while since they looked in the mirror and saw that. Enchanting Libra coming in at 4024. Thank you so much, Enchanting Libra. You're so sweet. I did get, I think it's just a 1 card pull for you, I think is what it was in the members corner. So just letting you know, don't miss that. I was doing 1 card pulls from like 1 hour and 47 minutes onward, and I think you fell into that category. I'm not sure right now, because honestly my mind is like a little tin of pudding, but I guess we don't eat pudding out of tins, but in my brain today we do. All right, so here we go. We got the message of a 6 of Pentacles, because this is all about, you know, the brightness of the full moon and what is being illuminated. We have either the desire to share, to give, to invest, to receive. Also, this is a message heavily about receiving and learning how to receive. I have to say that the potential for either giving information or receiving information or gifts or collaboration is right there, but this is what needs to be addressed. This could be, I hate to say it, but this could be an awkward conversation that needs to happen. Like, so here's the thing. I need you to give me a little bit more attention here. Or, hey boss, I'm going to need a raise because I've been, you know, really putting a lot of extra effort in. I've gone well above and beyond what my job description was. You know, it kind of feels like, I think our character is the one offering the information. And as long as somebody is receptive to hearing, like, hey, can I, you know, tell you something? Really love being here. There's a lot of really great things, but also I need to ask you to like share with me either your thoughts, or I want to have better conversations with you, or, you know, something along those lines. This is oftentimes about resources. So it could be that somebody owes somebody money, but I wouldn't read it quite as literal as that. I think it's more along the lines of broaching the subjects of what we need and what we want to give and how to receive. That can all be awkward conversations, but when the heart is in the right place, it doesn't have to be. And I think now it's just saying that now is a great time to talk about like exchange of resources and how to handle that conversation. I think it's like a time where it'll be an easier flow. All right, next up, I've got Juliet coming in 4259. Juliet, here we go. Let me grab one for you here. All right, we got 2, and they both came out sideways. We got the Tower and we got the King of Cups. There's changes, but we don't know. The dust hasn't settled yet. There's changes in the emotional space, the heart space of a King of Cups, possibly. Doesn't have to be a water sign masculine, but could be. We also have strong Aries energy. But this says, I can't make a decision about something because I don't really know how it's all going to work out. I do look at this card and I notice all of the adult beverages here, and I can't help but say, if there's a question mark about like, hey, how is someone, you know, working through, let's say, an addiction. And I only say that alcohol does not have to mean that somebody has an addiction, right? There's nothing evil or bad about alcohol. It's when we do anything so much that it's impeding our life and, you know, making, you know, problems in our life that it becomes bad, right? But this card is halfway between being in a karmic cycle because it was sideways, or halfway being upright and having no problems at all, nothing negative. But this says we don't know yet. And so like this could be the beginning of saying, hey, I have a lot of hope that someone will see something that maybe they need to recognize and, you know, kind of like pull themselves up short and be like, whoa, I think I was kind of getting out of control there. Let me pull myself back. but it's too soon to tell. Will they notice that? Now, I could also read it in a message of what's being illuminated is this person might not realize that some of their behavior is, kind of like stepping across a line. And then it becomes, will they be receptive to hearing it? Let me think about how I convey that. And it could also be a self-check, which we all have to do. Like, oh, wait a minute. Once in a while, let me evaluate. What am I doing? How much of this am I doing? I didn't think it was that much, but now maybe I realize it is. So we can look at it in any direction, whether it's for oneself or a different character. But the big thing is it's time for a self-check, and we don't really know what we're going to find in that check. Or it's time to convey a message or to ponder. I wonder if they've considered this yet. We don't know until that conversation happens, or we don't know for ourselves until we've done a little bit of self-eval. But what's nice is that it doesn't really look like, it doesn't look like this has to be a big problem. This can still go really smoothly. We don't know yet. It depends on how receptive somebody is to it. But there is emotion here, there is caring here, and that's a good basis for any like heartfelt conversation, anything that we need to do a check and say, okay, am I still thinking about something that maybe I should free myself from? Can I let go of something, or am I holding on to it without realizing it? Or am I doing something that's kind of not in my best interest? Do I need to do a self-check? And that's all this is it's a great time for a heart-to-heart self-check so that we can just kind of like open our minds and say, I'm not going to be judgy about it. I just want the best for myself, and I want the best for somebody else. So it actually feels like a really nice time of, non-confrontational, but productive assessment, I guess is what I would call that. Next up, the goddess of self. And again, honey, I'm sorry if I didn't get the rest of your name. I couldn't see it. I could only see the goddess of self. So that is who you are to me at this point. Okay. So here we go. We've got the Magician. So the message here is one of beginning to manifest. We've got, somebody's in a good vibe right now. I think a character is just now realizing how much knowledge they possess, how much their thoughts and their maybe the things that they write down and the things that they invest in. If we're interested in anything, we start researching it, we start seeking it, we start, gravitating toward it. And then, bit by bit, sometimes we become the expert on that. And then pretty soon we're, working in that industry, we're opening that business, we're doing the things that we gravitated toward. And we can say we manifested it, or we can say we used our active mind and our intentions to actually create tangible results. And it's really nice to see so many tangible results in this storyline. It's successful, it's powerful, it is determined. It is the masculine energy is playing a role in this. So even if our character identifies as feminine, what they're realizing is, I tend to go after the things that I want. Now, during this full moon, I don't know, they could be lighting a candle and, sending their prayers up a little higher on purpose to say, all right, universe, I think this is what I want. I'm willing to put in the energy. It's a little bit of like, I really want to manifest this. Could be Virgo, Gemini energy, but I really want to manifest this outcome. Right now, it's a rough sketch of the outcome that I want, but I'm ready. I'm taking off my glasses though, because now it's time for me to kind of see with my heart. I'm not going to be researching and reading up anymore. Now is the time for me to start taking more actionable steps. And that's what I mean when I say it's like stepping into the masculine energy, action taking, instead of the like gathering knowledge. Now is the time to start putting things into play, is what this says, which is so exciting. I love that. All right, Karen, my dear, thank you so much for all of your kindness. You're so awesome. Karen, you're coming in at 4842. I so appreciate you, Karen. Just how kind you are, and, jotting things down in the chat the way you did. That was really kind. Thank you, honey. We've got message of the Hanged Man. It came out a little bit of a jaunty tilt there, but still enough that I would take it mostly upright. It wasn't sideways. Hanged Man energy is Piscean. This is a card of seeing things through a different lens, a different perspective, flipping something upside down. And for some reason, I feel almost like, sometimes when we look at those like paintings or something and we go, what do you see in it? But if you flip it upside down, you see a completely different like animal. It's a horse if you look at it one way, and it's, a turtle if you look at it in the other orientation. And then it's like, oh, wow, well, that has two different meanings. completely different meanings. If we tilt something in a different direction, we're going to see it completely differently. This could be about seeing someone's own reactions and the way they might have gone through an experience totally different than we did. We're seeing their side of it. And this could be something from the past because we have all of these cobwebs. This could be like an old thing that we're dredging up and we're just now saying, oh my God, I didn't think of it through their eyes. I didn't think of it from their heart space, but now I can see it that way. And that could be, our character could recognize that, because this card can have to do with martyrdom. I don't know if they are realizing that someone that they dealt with in the past ended up being a bit of a martyr and they were sacrificing themselves, thinking they were doing the right thing. But I feel like our lead character is seeing how another person in their past maybe thought they were doing the right thing, even if that is not at all how our lead character perceived it. But they're seeing it from a different lens, which is amazing. To get the I think it takes a really big person to be able to step back and say, let me see it from their view. Oh my God. Okay. And, because we don't walk in each other's shoes, we only know what we know. But I feel like it takes a really big person to be able to conceive of it from a different person's viewpoint. All right, Breno, this one's for you, darling. Thank you so much, Breno. You're so awesome. Thank you for always giving the support that you do to the Taurus videos. So we got a 7 of Pentacles. So the message here for this full moon fictional storyline is, this is a time to count up one's blessings, to count up one's resources. This is a time of the harvest. It's time to see how far we've come in life. There could be a lot more resources than what we realize that we've been accruing and we've been putting together and we've been gathering maybe over years of our lifespan. And right now we're kind of sitting pretty. We're sitting in a good energetic space. This character has, let me put it this way, they have a lot more resources that they could invest into other things. So say the resources are the friendships that we have. Say the resources are the pieces of knowledge that we have accumulated in our lifespan. We have a lot to offer and we can do more with that. We can reinvest some of our skills. We can, become get a side hustle or something. But it really talks about this person's resources are about to I would say multiply is what they're realizing. They have a lot more value than what they thought they did in their own back pocket. And Natalie, let me get to you, sweetheart. 5212. Thank you again, Natalie. You're always such a lovely energy. Thank you so much for all the years you've been with me. I really appreciate you. All right, my dear. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. We have a 5 of Pentacles. So the big message for this full moon seems to be about, I'm not going to say it's necessarily about loss. It's about, you notice that we open this door and this is a church that we see. And it almost feels like if there is something that we're realizing we've been hungry for, maybe it's a sense of spiritual belonging. Maybe our character is realizing that they want more community around them, or that there has been something that they've been seeking. Just because we're seeking something doesn't mean we're lost. Sometimes we're journeying and we're gathering information because we're intelligent, creative beings. Just because we're wise enough to say, you know what, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out what resonates with me. So we go on that quest. But the thing that promotes it is we first recognize that we're trying to fill in the puzzle pieces or fill in the blank spaces. And this could have to do with a spiritual journey. It almost feels like our character, you notice how we have winter time, which is a time of purity. And then we have all of this growing, flowers and everything blooming and blossoming kind of in springtime. So I kind of feel like this is we're seeing a character in the midst of transformation. And I think if anything, that's what they're realizing too, is I'm kind of doing some spiritual awakening right now, some spiritual growth. And I'm not 100% sure yet how everything is going to click into place, but I'm aware that I am actively collecting the things that I want, collecting knowledge, awakening, and putting things together for me in a way that makes sense. Because I do feel like this is a very spiritual component to that card, which is actually the nicest 5 of Pentacles card I've ever seen. Thank you so much, you guys. Really good to see everybody. I will timestamp these now in the description box now that they're done. And I thank you guys so much. All right, take care. Bye.